Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's recipe is coconut turnovers, inspired by my recent trip to Barbados. Our ingredients, we have some yeast, butter, some salt and some sugar, some flour and some milk. So to start with, we want to heat our milk slow and low in a pan. Next, we want to add our sugar and then our yeast to a bowl. Once the milk is kind of starting to steam a little, we can add that to the yeast and sugar mix and then just whisk it together until the yeast is dissolved. You can set this aside. So we have some flour and some salt. We're just going to add them together. Then we're going to add our butter and then just rub the flour with the butter until it forms kind of like breadcrumbs. When the yeast mix is fermented, we want to add it to our dry butter and flour mix. And then just bring the dough together with a spatula or a spoon. And then you can knead it with your hands. Once you've got a nice soft dough like this, you want to leave it to prove in a warm place for about 30 minutes. Once the dough has doubled in size, you want to knock it back, turn it out onto your floured surface and then divide it into 8 equal parts. Once they're divided, just set them aside. Then we want to prepare the coconut filling. So I've got some fresh grated coconut here. Then we want to add our coconut sugar or regular sugar, whichever you have. Then our spices. We have some ground allspice and some ground cinnamon. Lastly, a little bit of vanilla. Then just mix all of this together and everything's ready to assemble our turnovers. So I'm just going to add a little vegetable oil to my baking dish and just grease that. So first of all, I'm just going to roll out one of our dough balls to about 1/2 centimeter thick. Then we want to add a little coconut into the center, fold the edges and just form a small loaf shape. You don't have to be precise, this is really abstract cooking. Once you've done that, place it in the greased baking dish and just repeat with the rest. So I've done all of mine here. Last thing we need before we put them in the oven is to give them a little glaze. To make the glaze, I've got some coconut sugar and some of the coconut water left from our coconuts that we prepared earlier. Just mix these together. And then we want to spoon them over the top or brush them on top of the turnovers. And that gives them a really nice color when they bake. We're going to sprinkle a little demerara sugar on top. And then these are ready for the oven. So we're going to bake them for about 45 minutes on 160, but you know they're cooked when they're nice and golden brown like this. Here are our turnovers, lovely and soft and just beautifully golden brown. So on the inside you can see the coconut is just melted with all of the coconut sugar. That's why it's nice and dark. It's absolutely delicious. And that's it. That's my recipe for coconut turnovers. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, because they were absolutely delicious. Until the next time, peace and love.